What's up, everyone? Darius here, one half of the team with my lovely co-host Farra, and this is the first episode of the Make a Difference podcast presented by Madwire Marketing 360. Farra, I'm going to share a little bit about just in these few minutes what the podcast is, just for the listeners. Guys, we came up with this podcast because we wanted to give a platform to individuals who are making a difference, doing just that. And it didn't matter, and it doesn't matter how small, how big, how significant or notable it may be. We wanted to hear about the people who are making a difference, a positive difference in the world around us, and share those stories and those individuals with you. So, Farah, being that this is the first episode, and we're
Episode
yeah,
one.
and we're new to the podcast world, so to speak. 99.999% of people don't know who we are.
True.
Uh,
But you will. You will know who we are.
yeah, it's very threatening and confident. Just tell the people a little bit about yourself. I'll tell them about
Uh,
me, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Make a Difference podcast.
cool. Welcome, guys. We are really excited to bring this podcast to you. One thing that I will add to what Darius said is obviously this podcast, the idea came from wanting to share stories of people making a difference, to echo Darius, however big or small those differences may be. But also, when we were thinking about this, we were going through and are still going through, um, somewhat of a hard time in our world. And we are so overly consumed as a society with the media and social media, and it's easy to get caught up in all of the negative stuff that's happening around us. And while we can't ignore that, I don't think it's appropriate to ignore it. And while we can't just pretend it's not happening, I think that it's also so important to understand that there's a lot of good happening in the world right now too. And sometimes the negative drowns all of that good out. And so for me, the goal of this podcast is to really create a spotlight on all of the really good things that are happening in the world and all of the really amazing people who are making the good things happen in the world. And so we hope that this will be, you know, an hour of your week where you can shut out the negative and just listen to some really, really awesome people tell their stories of the amazing things that they're doing in the world. Um, so yeah, me, who am I? So I am the director of PR and community relations for Madwire.
No,
Um,
that's not who you are. That's what you do.
that is what I do. That is what I do. You're right. Touche. What I do is that. Um, who I am as a person, though. My job is a big part of my life, though. I love the company
True.
I work for. I love what we do. Just as a whole, in general, I love the mission and what we do. But outside of that, I'm very, very passionate about giving back. I My background in my life growing up was very philanthropic. My mom works in nonprofit and has for my whole life, and so the idea of philanthropy was introduced to me at a very, very young age. My
Mm.
brother and I were constantly volunteering. I was constantly watching my mom help people, um, and so as I was growing up and looking for things to get involved with, I kind of narrowed down where my passion areas are and what I'm really passionate about in the world, which is a lot of things. It's hard when you think about all of the things that you want to accomplish and help people with. It can get uh, it can be very, very dramatic because there's just so many things that we can do in the world. But so I was introduced to that very early on, and it's a really big passion of mine to give back. So I'm involved in many different organizations locally that I love and are just so near and dear to my heart. And outside of that, I'm very passionate about my two fur children, Oliver and Bella. They're my world. I love them dearly. Uh, and I'm so excited to share with you these amazing people that we have lined up. I really am. I just think that they have so much value to bring to people's lives, and we're pumped. We're pumped.
Absolutely. We sure are pumped. And a bit about myself, guys. Who am I? It's funny
Not to be confused with what do you do?
for sure since I put it on blast like that. Uh, you know what, guys? I am a husband, a father, and that's definitely the DNA of who I am. But I'm also I think I'm an empathetic member of my community, and that's really explains. I think that explains my role. I don't have a lot of background in nonprofit or philanthropy. I just go around every day trying to see the people around me, and uh, so not that you need qualifications for this podcast, but I think that's why I'm here. It's because that's how I operate, and we all matter. We all matter. I believe that. I operate that way, and I'm just excited to be a part of something here with my co-host, where we are just trying to tell other people that they matter, regardless of
Yep.
the difference you're making, whether it's small or big, or you got an award for it or not.
Yep.
You matter, and so we want to tell you matter and give other people to find an opportunity to find out about you. So
Yep. Absolutely. One thing that I will share about my co-host that struck me the very first time I ever met him in the halls of Madwire, our office building. We are now obviously both working from home, but one thing that really struck me, and I'll never forget this, and Darius continues to ask these questions, but when I first met Darius, he asked me how my heart was. He said, "How's your heart today?" And that really struck me because you don't hear a lot of people. You hear people say, "How are you? How's your day?" And most people are just like, "Oh, good, good. How are you?" It's a very like, it's just what you say. Even if you're having a total crap day, you're like, "I'm fine. How are you?"
I'm good. Good.
That's it. Yeah, good. Moving on. But Darius literally stopped and said to me, "How's your heart?" And I was like, "Wow." Like, whoa, nobody has ever asked me that before. And it really struck me, and it's actually stuck with me.
Oh,
I don't know how long how long have we known each other? I'm not even sure. But anyway,
about 3
it,
years now.
okay, so 3 years. It's really stuck with me for 3 years, and I always think about that because it's a question I think that we should be asking more people
Percent.
and diving into. So anyway, thank you, Darius. That has really stuck with me for
Word.
the last 3 years.
If I was more fair skinned, I might be blushing or something. But uh, but that being said, guys, we are, like we've said it a couple of times already. We're excited. We have some awesome, amazing guests lined up. As you listen and consume the content, if you have anyone that you think you want to give a platform to hear about, so others can hear about the amazing things that they're doing, feel free to just reach out and while you're leaving reviews, or visit our accompanying links and website pages and things like that. We're on social media. You can find our Instagram handles at Marketing 360. Whatever you need to do to get our attention so we can give others that platform to be heard, we want to
Yes.
do that. And so,
Yes.
yeah. Now we'll be coming, part of the schedule. We'll be coming live weekly every Thursday, right, my friend?
Yes. Every Thursday afternoon.
Okay. Okay. And so,
And subject to change.
yeah, subject to
But for
change,
now.
subject to change as we're building it out more and getting more guests on, but we'll for sure be coming live every Thursday, uh, maybe even more. Who knows? We might just come live every day, but nonetheless, 1 hour a week for your work week to give you something positive, like Farrah said. So, anything else you want to add, or anything you want to talk about, just in this first episode?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really excited, and we just really hope that, like Darius said, that it brings you at least 1 hour of positivity every week in your life, and that you get to learn something new. I think that the people we have lined up just have a lot of value to give. So
That they do. And they're doing some really cool things. And some of the names you'll actually recognize depending on how you operate digitally. Some of the names you will recognize, and some you won't. But then you'll be like, happy that you now know about them. So,
heck yeah.
well, guys, this has been the first episode, the introduction episode of the Make a Difference podcast. We are excited to have you along on this journey with us as we do just that, make a difference in each other's days by just being real and seeing people and acknowledging them for what they're doing to
Yes.
contribute to society. So thank you for listening. Farra, thank you for joining me today as my co-host, and looking forward to episode like 3000.
Heck yeah, episode 3000.
All right.
See y'all next Thursday.